Hey guys, welcome to Sibley Law and our YouTube channel. My name is Brent Sibley, and today I'm going to do another video in our new series which I am working on, showing various elements of our practice to the attorney partners that we work with so we can help educate them on what's going on behind the scenes with our staff and all the internal assembly lines that we're using. So today we're going to be talking about a feature called workflows on Practice Panther, but that's not really the terminology that we use is not what's important. What's important is that we're automating and we're using systems to keep track of what we're doing. Okay, what do I mean when I say that? Well, the example that we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a system that I created for when I have to go to court, or one of the attorneys has to go to court for a hearing, whether it's a simple hearing or a more important hearing. When you're going to court in front of the judge, as you know, you want to make sure that you're prepared, because most judges will kick you right out of the courtroom if you have failed any of the protocols that they have for getting a matter to be heard by the court properly for a hearing. And unfortunately, all judges have a little bit of a different system, so you have to be very careful. So I created this special custom workflow, which is a system of tasks, a specific set of tasks that we use when we have a hearing coming up in a case, and I want to make sure that everything is handled perfectly. And it's something that I have tweaked since I initially made it, and it gets better over time. So without further ado, we're here in Practice Panther, as you can see, and we're here in the demo matter, which is the same one we used the other day when I was showing how a contingency closing would work. So I'm in the matter. Pretty much I just want to go over here, click new. I'm going to click I'm going to select workflow, and I'm going to say I have a hearing. Okay, so I'm going to select the hearing. So I'm going to apply this workflow. Very simple. And it's automatically going to bring up this page. Now, I custom made this page, and you can make it any way you like. And it's an ongoing work in progress, and it'll get better, I'm sure, as time goes on. But this is the way we're doing it now. So first thing it does is it asks you for, please, tell me the dates of certain events. So let's just say that I was just working on a case, and I just scheduled something for a hearing, and we just filed the notice. So we just filed our notice with the court today. So today is the 14th. So the notice of hearing was filed today. Okay. And the hearing date, let's just say that we set this hearing, let's say whatever. Let's say usually it's about 3 weeks out. So we'll just go April 11th. Let's just say we scheduled something for April 11th. Okay. And I will be the attorney at this hearing. So I'm going to put myself here. If I wanted to assign the hearing, if I was going to have one of the other attorneys that we work with go to this hearing, I would simply just select another attorney here from the list and put them. But for now, I'm going to just put my name there. And for that, that's for me as well. Okay, so those are the first two things. So the way it works is you have to tell it, and as you build more of these, you can get more complicated, but we're going to keep it simple, of course, for today. So you're telling it when you filed the notice and when the hearing is going to happen. So today and the 11th. Okay, so now we're going to go into the tasks section. And in the tasks section, it's going to be all the specific tasks that I custom designed that I want to be delegated to my team as part of this hearing. Okay, so first, courtesy copies to the judge pursuant to the judge's website. So most judges still require a set of physically printed papers to be delivered to their office. Some of them like it via e-courtesy. Doesn't matter as long as it gets done. So I'm going to assign this one to Devin, and it's going to email her. I'm going to leave that box checked so she knows that she has an assignment that this is going to be. And this is automatically, because we don't want it to get to the judge's office too early, because the JA might put it to the side, they might lose it. So I selected 14 days as the perfect amount of time, because most judges want this in their office about 7 to 10 days before. So I assigned 14 days as when the task becomes due. She'll see it on her Practice Panther screen. She'll get an email, and then that's when her task will do, and she'll make sure to get the courtesy copies of the motion and the notice sent to the judge. Then we have what we call digital version for the hearing folders. What is this? For us, this is, we have a system where in Dropbox, which is what we use, I want to make sure that we have every case law that was cited, the notice of the hearing, the motions that are being heard by the court, and sometimes some other documents. All those things must be saved into a specific hearing folder, digital version. And basically what it is this, for us, this mimics what we're going to want to print. This is basically a digital version of what is going to be printed and the attorney will bring to court. So this is due 2 days before the hearing, and I'm also going to assign this to, in this case, I'll assign this one to me because I'm going to make sure that I have this perfect. So I'm going to make sure that my digital folders are all perfect, and I'll put whatever cases I want in there, and I'll put whatever other documents or corresponding stuff I want in the hearing digital folder. This is the next task. This is the calendar entry on our Google Calendar. I want to make sure that the judge's courtroom is listed, the exact time is listed, any other information about the hearing that needs to be on the attorney's calendar. And we're going to assign this to Devin. She's the paralegal. So she's going to make sure that the calendar entry is generated and is perfect. And that way the attorney's calendar is set up so that they don't have anything to worry about on the morning of the hearing. And we have that pegged to 3 days after the notice of hearing was filed. This is going to alert her that she has to make sure that's on the calendar. A lot of times she'll do that right away, so this will be a redundancy. But again, that's huge. The redundancy is that she'll make sure it'll come up in her system. She'll say, okay, I already did this. Boom. She'll verify it. It's done. But sometimes she'll get this report, she'll get this alert, and she'll say, oh, I forgot to do that. And then this is a backdoor second redundant measure. And then that way it's for sure on the calendar and the attorney doesn't have to worry about anything. This is the day before the hearing. This is basically a reminder to take the Dropbox folders and all the documents that have been saved into the hearing folder in the digital world and take it into the physical printed out version so that I can bring it to the attorney can bring it to the judge and has the case law, everything printed out, the motions, the notices, the case law sites and everything. So this is going to be assigned to Devin too, because she's going to have to print that stuff and make sure that it's ready the day before the hearing for me. This is something I added just because, why not? When you have these systems in place, you might as well be perfect. Most courts require that you try and confer with the opposing counsel before the hearing day and use good faith to try and resolve the issues. So of course, I'm going to assign this to myself as the attorney. So basically, this is going to remind me, hey, you gotta try and resolve the issues that you set for the hearing, and this is going to come up on my side 5 days before the hearing. This is also an important one. This is the court reporter. We pretty much always want court reporters at our hearings, otherwise what's the point? So I'm going to assign this one to Devin as well. And this way, 2 days after the notice gets filed and we have the hearing confirmed, she'll be reminded to make sure that she has the court reporter arranged, and she won't be able to mark this. She won't mark this task as complete until she has the confirmation from the court reporters. So click Save Now. It's going to apply that workflow. Take a second. And now what's going to happen is going to show all of these tasks. So automatically, so of course, it took me a couple minutes to go through it, but once you're kind of in the hang of this, that probably could take you less than a minute. Go through, who's doing what. Some bigger workflows, you might have more people involved, but this is a pretty simple hearing. So between the attorney and the paralegal, that's the two people that are going to be pretty much involved in handling everything. So it's going to generate all these tasks here. The title of the tasks are here. The date that they're due is here, and it shows you clearly who's assigned to what. And then as they get marked as completed, you can tick them off here and just mark it as completed. And it'll show you the status bar here in progress. It'll say not completed, not completed. Now this is great because you come back to your desk the next day or a week before the hearing, you can go here into, we're already here. We're in the activities tab and you can see, okay, what is in progress, what is not completed. And it'll actually change colors for you, and you'll see, oh, this was red because it's overdue. So if this one, which is due in 2 days, if she doesn't get me the core reporter 2 days from now, I'll be able to see which ones are red, which ones are green for completed, and which ones are still yellow, showing that they're not completed, but they're not overdue yet. So this is a really good way to systemize your workflows and make sure that everything is happening in the exact manner that you prescribe, to get the work done the way you want it to be done, so that you don't show up to core and waste your time. These are super powerful, and I highly recommend that you think about your practice in this way. And the attorneys that we work with love this, because they see how everything gets done. It's always just automatic. It's all on a system, and there's no, from the attorney's perspective, you don't have to be worried about following up and micromanaging. Your systems are doing all the hard work for you. And we have a lot more of these. I'm going to probably show some more demos in the future, but I wanted to show you this simple workflow that we use to create everything. Sibley Law from Practice Panther. Have a great day, guys.